Have you ever woken up feeling strangely heavy? Like your body is begging you to notice something you've been ignoring for far too long? I'm asking because most people think that fatigue swelling or that puffy, tired look in the mirror is just age catching up to them. But what if I told you that for millions of Americans, these quiet little symptoms are actually the earliest warning signs of rising creatinine, your kidneys whispering for help before the damage becomes loud enough to change your life? Because here's the truth most people never hear until it's almost too late. High creatinine doesn't crash into your life like a heart attack. It creeps, it builds, it steals your energy, your clarity, your sleep, and your confidence slowly enough that you don't even realize your kidneys are struggling until the problem has already taken root. And I don't want you to reach that point. My name is Dr. Mark Ellis, and if you're experiencing these symptoms, or if you've ever looked at your lab results and felt that cold knot of fear in your stomach, then what I'm about to share with you may be the most important message you hear this year. Because despite what you may think, your kidneys are not doomed to decline. And creatinine doesn't rise just because you're getting older. In fact, and this is what shocks most of my patients, the right types of protein don't harm your kidneys at all. Some of them actually help lower creatinine faster than cutting out protein entirely. And today you're going to discover the 10 most powerful research-backed proteins that don't just protect your kidneys, they help them recover. But before we dive into the first one, let me leave you with this thought. Your kidneys never fail overnight. They fail in silence through the tiny choices you make every single day. And the next few minutes may hand you the exact choices that tip your health back in your favor. Because once you understand the first protein on this list, you'll never look at kidney-safe eating the same way again. When it comes to lowering creatinine without stressing your kidneys, few foods are as deceptively powerful as something most people overlook every single morning: plain egg whites. They may look simple, but they carry one of the cleanest, purest forms of protein your kidneys can process without creating the heavy metabolic waste that drives creatinine upward. In fact, for many of my patients, egg whites became the turning point the moment they realized you don't have to fear protein, you just have to choose it wisely. I'll never forget a patient named Robert, a 62-year-old retired firefighter who came into my office terrified because his creatinine suddenly jumped to 1.9. He thought he had to cut all protein out of his diet. But the moment we replaced his high-fat breakfast with 3 lightly cooked egg whites each morning, something remarkable happened. Within 6 weeks, his creatinine dropped, his energy came back, and the swelling in his ankles disappeared. It wasn't magic. It was biology, clean, efficient biology. Egg whites offer roughly 11 grams of pure albumin protein per 3 eggs, serving the same type of protein used in medical nutrition formulas for kidney patients at the National Institute of Health. Why? Because albumin produces significantly less nitrogen waste compared to whole eggs or animal meats. Less waste means less filtering pressure on the nephrons, the microscopic filters inside your kidneys that determine whether creatinine rises or stabilizes. Egg whites are also extremely low in phosphorus, potassium, and fat, the exact trio that often overloads weakened kidneys and accelerates damage. And unlike whole eggs, which contain yolks rich in phosphorus and cholesterol, egg whites give you the amino acids your muscles need without forcing your kidneys to work overtime. But here's something most people don't know. The way you cook egg whites impacts how gentle they are on your kidneys. Lightly boiling, steaming, or soft, scrambling them in a teaspoon of olive oil prevents oxidation and keeps the protein easy to digest. On the other hand, salty packaged liquid egg whites can worsen water retention because many brands slip in preservatives and sodium. For kidney health, fresh egg whites, not bottled ones, are the gold standard. And if you want even smoother digestion, combining egg whites with oatmeal or avocado creates a slow-release energy meal that keeps your blood sugar balanced, which is critical because unstable blood sugar often triggers creatinine spikes. But before you rush to load your plate, remember, moderation is the secret weapon. 2 to 4 egg whites a day is enough to support muscle repair without overwhelming your kidneys. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. And that small shift can be the moment your kidneys finally get the breathing room they've been begging for. But knowing the power of egg whites is only the first step, because the next protein on this list does something egg whites cannot. It doesn't just protect your kidneys. It actually supports detox at the cellular level. And most people eating for kidney health completely overlook it, even though the science behind it is astonishing. Let me show you why lentils deserve your attention next. And once you understand why egg whites give your kidneys the breathing room they need, it becomes clear that the next step isn't about eating lighter. It's about eating smarter. Because while egg whites protect your kidneys by reducing waste, lentils support them on a completely different level. They help your body remove waste more efficiently. And this is where most people, even those who follow strict renal diets, miss out on a major advantage. Lentils may look humble, but they are one of the cleanest, most kidney-friendly sources of plant protein you can put on your plate. Just 1 cup of cooked lentils delivers around 18 grams of balanced protein, enough to maintain muscle without generating the heavy metabolic byproducts that animal meats typically produce. This matters because those byproducts are the exact substances your kidneys must filter out, and when filtration slows, creatinine rises. So instead of overwhelming your kidneys, lentils work with them. I remember treating a woman named Cynthia, a 54-year-old accountant who struggled with fluctuating creatinine for years. She wasn't eating junk. In fact, she believed she was eating healthy by sticking to chicken and turkey. But when I swapped a portion of her animal protein for lentils 3 times a week, everything changed. Her digestion improved, her blood sugar stabilized, and within 3 months, her creatinine began dropping consistently for the first time in years. She told me it felt like someone finally turned off the internal pressure inside her body. And biologically, that's exactly what happens. Harvard School of Public Health researchers found that people who replace just part of their animal protein with legumes often experience better kidney filtration over time. The secret lies in lentils' unique nutrient profile. They contain arginine, an amino acid that enhances blood flow to kidney tissues, helping detox pathways work more smoothly. Their soluble fiber stabilizes blood sugar, which is crucial because high glucose stiffens blood vessels and silently raises creatinine. And their low phosphorus and potassium content, when eaten in moderate portions, makes them ideal for people who want protein that nourishes without burdening their kidneys. Preparing lentils correctly matters too. Rinsing and soaking them overnight reduces natural compounds like phytic acid, making them easier to digest, and lowering potassium, slightly an important detail if your levels are already borderline. Half a cup per meal is the sweet spot, enough to give your body sustained energy without overwhelming your mineral balance. And if you want to make lentils even more kidney supportive, adding spices like cumin or turmeric adds anti-inflammatory power that protects delicate nephrons from oxidative stress. But before you switch your entire diet to lentils, let me warn you, thinking more is better is one of the biggest mistakes kidney patients make. Overeating even healthy plant proteins can still cause bloating, mineral imbalance, and unnecessary strain. So use lentils the way they were meant to be used, strategically, consistently, and in controlled portions. But only knowing the benefits of lentils still isn't enough, because the next protein on this list does something neither egg whites nor lentils can do. It actively cools inflammation from the inside out using billions of live cultures that help cleanse waste before it even reaches your kidneys. And once you understand how this works, you'll never look at Greek yogurt the same way again. And once you understand how lentils support detox from the inside, the next step is adding a protein that doesn't just feed your body, but repairs it. That's where Greek yogurt comes in. Most people think of yogurt as just a snack, but Greek yogurt is one of the few proteins that actively cools inflammation while helping your kidneys clear waste more efficiently. It does this through billions of live probiotic cultures that rebalance your gut, and when your gut works better, your kidneys don't have to fight as hard. I'm reminded of Daniel, a 47-year-old truck driver who came to me constantly bloated and exhausted. His creatinine wasn't extremely high, but he felt like his body was running dirty, as he described it. Once we added just 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt into his mid-morning routine, everything shifted. Within weeks, his digestion steadied, his mental fog lifted, and his lab work showed fewer uremic toxins, waste products that normally force the kidneys into overdrive. The science backs this up. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health explain the gut-kidney axis, showing how strong gut microbiomes reduce toxin buildup before those toxins ever reach the kidneys. Greek yogurt also delivers 15 to 17 grams of high-quality protein, calcium to balance acidity, and vitamin B12 for clean energy without the phosphorus spike most dairy products cause. And when you pair it with blueberries or a sprinkle of cinnamon, you're adding antioxidants that protect nephron cells from silent inflammation. But knowing the power of Greek yogurt alone still isn't enough, because the next protein doesn't just nourish or detox, it shields your kidneys at the microscopic level with one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory compounds. And you'll see why chia seeds matter more than most people ever realized. And once you understand how Greek yogurt strengthens the gut-kidney connection, you're ready for a protein source that works at an even deeper level, one that protects your kidneys long before damage can take hold. That's exactly what chia seeds do. These tiny seeds may look insignificant, but they pack one of the most complete anti-inflammatory profiles in the entire plant world. And for anyone trying to lower creatinine, that's a game changer. Chia seeds deliver about 10 grams of plant-based protein in just 2 tablespoons, along with omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and potent antioxidants. These nutrients work together like a protective shield for your nephrons, the microscopic filters in your kidneys that determine how quickly or slowly creatinine builds up. When your kidneys are inflamed, those filters narrow and stiffen. Omega-3s help reverse that process by softening inflammation and improving blood flow through those tiny pathways. I saw this firsthand with a patient named Melissa, a 59-year-old teacher battling constant fatigue and rising creatinine. She didn't think something as small as chia seeds could make a difference, but once she started soaking a spoonful in warm water every morning, her energy stabilized and her water retention dropped dramatically. Within 8 weeks, her lab results reflected fewer inflammatory markers, and her creatinine finally began trending down. The science lines up perfectly. Mayo Clinic researchers note that omega-3 fats and soluble fiber help reduce oxidative stress, one of the biggest hidden drivers of kidney decline. But here's the key: chia seeds must be soaked before eating. Dry chia can expand and irritate the throat and digestive tract, while soaked chia forms a gentle gel that hydrates, nourishes, and supports metabolism without stressing the kidneys. But knowing how chia seeds work still isn't enough, because the next protein source brings a completely different advantage, one that rebuilds strength and protects kidney function without the hidden risks found in most meats. And you're about to see why chicken breast, when used correctly, can change everything. And once you recognize how chia seeds protect your kidneys at the microscopic level, it's time to bring in a protein that rebuilds your strength without burying your kidneys under metabolic waste. That's where chicken breast earns its place. It's simple, familiar, easy to prepare, and when used correctly, it provides one of the cleanest, safest sources of complete protein for anyone trying to lower creatinine. A lean, skinless chicken breast delivers around 31 grams of high-quality protein per 100 grams. But what makes it truly kidney-friendly is its naturally low phosphorus and low-fat content. Unlike red meats, which generate a heavy load of nitrogen waste, your kidneys must filter out. Chicken breast offers the amino acids your muscles need without forcing your filtration system into overdrive. And for people trying to prevent muscle breakdown, which ironically can raise creatinine, this balance is critical. I saw this play out with Henry, a 67-year-old former construction worker who came to me losing weight and strength because he was terrified of protein. He thought eating less would save his kidneys, but it was doing the opposite. When we introduced small, controlled portions of grilled chicken breast, just the size of a deck of cards, his strength returned, his blood pressure stabilized, and most importantly, his creatinine stopped climbing. He told me, "It feels like my body finally has something to build with again." The science backs him up. The National Kidney Foundation notes that low-phosphorus animal proteins help reduce nitrogen buildup while supporting muscle repair, 2 essential factors in stabilizing creatinine. But the way you cook chicken matters. Baking or grilling it with herbs like rosemary keeps it clean and anti-inflammatory, while frying or marinating it in salty sauces adds oxidative stress and dangerous sodium levels your kidneys simply cannot afford. But understanding how chicken breast supports your kidneys is only part of the story, because the next protein doesn't just build or protect, it shields your cells with one of the most potent antioxidants in nature. And that's exactly why almonds deserve your attention next. And once you understand how clean animal protein like chicken breast can rebuild your strength without overwhelming your kidneys, it's time to bring in a food that protects you on a deeper cellular level. Something small, simple, and unbelievably powerful: almonds. Most people think of almonds as just a snack, But for kidney health, they're one of the smartest ways to add clean protein, minerals, and antioxidants without triggering the metabolic chaos that pushes creatinine higher. A single handful, about 23 almonds, delivers 6 grams of plant-based protein magnesium to improve blood vessel relaxation and vitamin E, one of nature's strongest antioxidant defenders. This combination is crucial because oxidative stress silently chips away at your kidney tissue, damaging nephrons long before symptoms appear. Vitamin E acts like a protective shield, guarding those fragile filters so they can continue clearing waste effectively. I remember working with Linda, a 71-year-old grandmother who felt tired, foggy, and inflamed from the inside, as she described it. She loved snacking, but relied heavily on crackers and processed foods. When we replaced her afternoon snack with a small handful of soaked almonds, the transformation was stunning. Within weeks, her energy stabilized, her cravings dropped, her blood sugar became more predictable, and her creatinine levels finally stopped climbing. She told me, "It feels like my body is calmer now." And that calm is exactly what antioxidants like vitamin E are designed to create. Research from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases confirms that antioxidant-rich foods can slow kidney aging and reduce inflammation at the cellular level. But there's a catch: eating too many almonds can raise phosphorus levels, so staying under 15 per day, especially soaked overnight, is the sweet spot for kidney safety. But even knowing the power of almonds still isn't enough, because the next protein source doesn't just protect or strengthen, it actively reduces kidney inflammation at the root level. And that's why wild salmon is a complete game changer. And once you see how antioxidants in almonds help calm inflammation inside your kidneys, it becomes the perfect time to introduce a protein that does something even more profound. It directly targets the inflammation that pushes creatinine higher in the first place. That protein is wild salmon. This isn't just healthy fish. It's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods ever studied, and for anyone fighting rising creatinine, its benefits are almost impossible to ignore. A standard 100-gram serving of wild salmon provides around 22 grams of clean protein, but the real magic lies in its omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These two compounds have been shown in multiple National Kidney Foundation reports to reduce renal inflammation, improve glomerular filtration, and enhance blood flow to the kidneys. In simple terms, salmon helps your kidneys do their job with far less strain. I'll never forget a patient named Arthur, a 64-year-old retired Navy mechanic who suffered from stubborn high creatinine and fluctuating blood pressure. When we added 2 servings of wild salmon per week, grilled with lemon and dill, nothing fancy, his numbers began shifting within a month. His swelling decreased, his blood pressure stabilized, and he told me, "For the first time in years, my body feels lighter." That lightness is exactly what reduced inflammation feels like. But there's an important detail: wild-caught salmon is far superior to farm salmon, which often contains higher phosphorus contaminants and sodium from processing. Keeping portions moderate, 3 to 4 ounces twice a week, is enough to support filtration without risking mercury buildup. But understanding salmon's power still isn't enough, because the next protein source breaks all the old rules. It builds muscle, lowers metabolic waste, and even helps balance nitrogen levels. And that's where pea protein powder comes in. And once you understand how wild salmon fights inflammation at the root, it becomes clear that the next step is finding a protein that supports your kidneys even on the days you don't feel like eating much, or when you need something quick, clean, and low in metabolic waste. That's exactly why pea protein powder has become one of my go-to recommendations. It breaks the old myth that protein powders are bad for your kidneys. The truth is, most powders are, but pea protein is the rare exception. 1 scoop delivers 20 to 25 grams of pure plant-based protein with extremely low purine content, meaning your body produces far less nitrogen waste when digesting it. And that's a huge deal, because nitrogen waste directly affects how hard your kidneys must work, how quickly creatinine rises, and how fatigued you feel after meals. Pea protein gives your muscles the amino acids they need while giving your kidneys a break. A patient who proved this beautifully was Marcus, a 52-year-old office worker who struggled with unpredictable energy crashes and creeping creatinine levels. He wasn't overeating, he simply relied on heavy meats for protein. When we swapped his afternoon snack for a smoothie with 1 scoop of pea protein, spinach, and cucumber, he said it felt like clean fuel. Within 6 weeks, his creatinine stabilized, his workouts felt lighter, and his lab work showed improved nitrogen balance, something Stanford nutrition researchers also highlight when studying plant proteins in renal diets. The key, however, is choosing the right product: low sodium, no artificial sweeteners, no gums, no fillers, clean label, clean kidneys. And limit yourself to 1 scoop a day. Balance is always the win. But even pea protein isn't the full story, because the next food does something almost no other protein can. Its slow-release structure nourishes your muscles, gently protects your kidneys from acid overload, and strengthens your gut at the same time. Which is why cottage cheese deserves a closer look. And once you see how pea protein gives your kidneys clean fuel without the metabolic burden, it's time to introduce a food that adds something completely different: steady, gentle nourishment that keeps your muscles energized without overwhelming your filtration system. Cottage cheese may not look impressive at first glance, but for kidney health, it's one of the most underrated tools you can use. Half a cup of low-sodium cottage cheese delivers around 14 grams of slow-digesting casein protein. This matters more than most people realize. Unlike fast-burning proteins that release amino acids all at once and create sudden nitrogen spikes, casein releases, gradually providing long-lasting nourishment while keeping waste buildup low. Your kidneys get protein support without the shock load that often pushes creatinine higher. I'm reminded of a patient named Evelyn, a 58-year-old librarian, who struggled with nighttime fatigue and morning heaviness. She wasn't eating poorly, she just wasn't eating strategically. When we added a small serving of cottage cheese with blueberries before her evening walk, something shifted. She felt more stable, less bloated, and for the first time in months, she woke up feeling refreshed. Her follow-up labs showed lower acidity markers and improved uremic toxin clearance, exactly what the Cleveland Clinic describes when explaining how probiotics and slow-release proteins support kidney recovery. Cottage cheese also provides calcium to help balance the body's acid load, vitamin B12 for energy metabolism, and live cultures that strengthen the gut-kidney axis. Just make sure to choose low-sodium versions and avoid the flavored ones packed with sugar. But understanding cottage cheese is still only part of the puzzle, because the next protein isn't just gentle or balanced, it's a complete nutritional powerhouse that carries all 9 essential amino acids and supports kidney repair in ways most grains never could. And that's where quinoa steps into the spotlight. And once you understand how cottage cheese provides slow, steady nourishment for your kidneys, it's the perfect moment to introduce a food that completes the picture: a protein source that doesn't just support repair, but fuels long-term recovery with all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. That food is quinoa. It's often called a super grain, but in reality, quinoa behaves more like a complete protein, disguised as a grain, making it incredibly valuable for anyone trying to lower creatinine naturally. 1 cup of cooked quinoa offers roughly 8 grams of high-quality protein. But what makes it truly remarkable is its amino acid balance. It contains lysine to help repair damaged kidney tissue, methionine to support detox pathways, and a rich blend of antioxidants like manganese and magnesium that protect your nephrons from oxidative stress. This combination is rare and priceless for kidney function. I think of James, a 45-year-old entrepreneur who lived on white rice and bread for years. He didn't know those foods were silently spiking his blood sugar and stressing his kidneys. When we replaced his nightly rice with quinoa, the changes were dramatic. His bloating eased, his afternoon crashes disappeared, and his creatinine dropped from 1.6 to 1.3 in just 2 months. It's like someone cleaned my system, he told me. And he was right. Quinoa stabilizes blood sugar, supports clean digestion, and provides steady energy without the metabolic burden of traditional grains. But preparation matters. Rinsing quinoa thoroughly removes saponins that can irritate digestion, and combining it with vegetables like spinach or mushrooms boosts its detoxifying effect even more. Organic, pre-rinsed quinoa is best, and 1 cup cooked 2 to 3 times a week is the sweet spot. But knowing the top 10 proteins is only part of the journey, because the final piece, the one that can shift your kidney filtration overnight, is the simple position you use before bed. And that kidney flow reset could change everything. After hearing all 10 proteins and understanding how each one supports your kidneys in a different, powerful way, I want you to remember something important. your kidneys are not beyond help. Even if your creatinine has been rising, even if you felt tired, swollen, or discouraged, your body is still capable of healing more than you think. What matters most is that you start taking small, consistent steps today, because tiny changes compound into powerful results over time. And if this video opened your eyes or gave you even one idea that makes your kidney journey feel a little less frightening, then please don't let it be the last time you take control of your health. Save this video so you can come back to it whenever you plan your meals or feel unsure about what's safe. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'll be sharing more evidence-based, easy-to-follow medical guidance to help you protect your kidneys, lower your creatinine, and stay ahead of problems before they start. Your health deserves knowledge, and knowledge only works when you return to it. But before we part ways today, let me leave you with this. No matter what your lab results look like, you are not defined by a number. Your kidneys can change, your body can adapt, and your future can still be brighter than your present, especially when you have the right tools and the right understanding. So keep going, keep learning, and keep believing that healing is possible. I'm here with you every step of the way.